Hi champs, I am taking lunch, and what better way to spend my lunch break than shooting a video. Hit the subscribe button, and today we're chatting about my credit journey. If you haven't checked out my other videos, please check them out to hear about my career journey and how I got into actuarial science and how I work at a big bank but how I hate credit. And I'll unpack that a bit later because I'm just a person that likes flexibility. But yeah, I have some notes. My writing is ugly, but yeah, I hope you'll bear with me. Okay, so I started working in 2018 January. You'll know that if you've watched the, how I got into actuarial science, UCT to working for a big 4 bank insurance company. But I wanted a phone, right? So it's 2018 January, and I've got a decent, bank statement. I think I'd gotten paid once, but I was working previously. I used to, like that 2017 December, I actually worked on campus. I worked at Forest Hill. I was, over the vacation, I was a receptionist, right? It was my first time working night shifts, and those things are crazy. Like, your day is just messed up. But it was a great experience. I was working with amazing people. I gymmed a lot because the city gym was open, and I stayed on campus that whole December. So I had money in my account, and well, enough for a cell phone contract at least. But MTN was like, nope, I must come back for 3 months. And I didn't actually need a phone at the time when you think about it. I think it was just a matter of, when you've just gotten money and you're excitable and all of those two things. But MTN said no. I was 1 month into working, and I think it's funny because I saw a tweet the other time, or about 2 weeks ago or a month ago, and people were talking about how wild, credit was before, the national credit regulation, like a couple of years back, like maybe 5-10 years back, where this one person was like, they actually walked into an Audi dealership and they walked out with an Audi I don't know, cars, and with just their graduate employment letter, right? And like, I had one pay slip, and MTN was like, nope. So I probably should have gotten a car rather. Okay, so MTN said no, and I was like, okay, but what happened was one of the consultants, they actually advised me to go and open a retail account because that was the problem. I didn't have like a good credit score, right? Because I didn't have credit, which for me was a bit, like, I'm asking for a phone and you ask me to go to somewhere else to spend my money, whereas I could be servicing the debt here that you can see on my bank statement I have the funds for. But I went and I opened a Truworths account. I kept it open for about 6 months because I couldn't understand the math, right? I would buy like undies and socks and small stuff, and then I kept paying and I couldn't keep track, because when you get to the store, they couldn't print or see on the statement or see my statement on the screen, and I was getting communication via letter. But like, remember now, I've just started working. I think I moved 3 times in my first year of working. I was changing like apartments, so I can't write down my address because it's gonna change, and like, I would have to go fetch my mail. It was just too fixed for me. So I couldn't see the balance. Even on the slip, I couldn't see the balance, and I was like, look, I'm paying too much for undies that are like 450 rand. So I went one day and I closed the account after 6 months, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm done. And then what I ended up doing is I went to open a TFG account. So that's your sports scene and your total sports. And I was into gym at the time, but that wasn't the reason. And I still have my sports scene account today. It's actually my longest account. And I liked sports scene and Truworths at the time because they've got a 6-month option, and I'll explain that a bit better now. But like, I liked TFG, and I still have it today, and I still use it because the accounting is simple, right? They print it on your statement, which they send via SMS, and then you can link, like click, and then you see the PDF. They also print it, like when I buy, I'll see at the bottom, you understand, how much I have available, how much is my latest balance, and all that. So for me, like, I'm very careful with my money, so like, I need to see what's happening to my money. And okay, they send the SMS with the link. I mentioned that. So what happens is they have a 25 Rand service fee, right? So let's say I buy a shoe. Like I recently bought like new shoes for gym. I bought 2 pairs, outdoor and indoor ones. The ones are pink, but they're filthy now, so you wouldn't tell that they were pink. So I bought those, and let's say they went to 1.8. And if I say, and you have to say this when they ask, when you're buying, you have to say 6 months. So on the 6-month option, it's interest free, because I don't like interest. So it's interest free, and what that basically means is they'll take the 1.8 and they'll divide it by 6, and that's 300 Rand plus the monthly monthly service fee of 25 Rand. So every month, if I don't make another purchase, I would have to pay 325. So that's easy math for me, and I can follow it nicely on the statement, right? Provided I don't add other purchases. Obviously, if I add another purchase, the installment goes up, and then that would be added on the 6-month option. So if I buy in Jan for 1.8, then that spreads the 6 months. If I buy in Feb, but I've also paid off Jan's amount, do you see? So, but it's easy to follow in the statement, and I really like that. And nowadays I use it mostly for, you know, their relationship with, who's this, at home. So I'll go and I'll buy like bed sheets and stuff and bedding and all of those things and house stuff, and then I put it on an account. I mean, I bought this study desk on account, and like I'm really happy with my TFG. If you're looking for an account and you just started working, go for TFG and maybe get like, and always buy like on the interest free if you can pay off the amount within 6 months. So my limit is at like 2K, because it was a 2K when I started working, and like I just kept it there. I'm happy with that. Because for me, if I can't afford anything above that, then it's not the time. Like the time isn't right. I'm not comfortable borrowing more money, especially for like a retail account, because the interest is quite high there, right? Okay, and then I work at a bank, and I don't know, I try and limit my credit because I like flexibility. I think I touched on that. I mean, I obviously have to borrow like for my house, I have to borrow for my car, but I try and limit even that, because my main thing is flexibility. I want to be able to get to a point in my life where I work because I want to work and not because I have to. I have to service my debt or anything like that. So for me, that's always been very important. The other thing that's nice about TFGs, they're loaded as a beneficiary on both the Nedbank and the RMB app. So as a public beneficiary rather. So all I have to do is I just have to like go there, add my reference number, which is on my statement, and I have them as a repeat, obviously, beneficiary, and then I just pay them on the app. Whereas for Truers, I think I had to go to the shop. I don't know, but like I really like TFG. It's really working for me, and I think their relationship with at home just opened up things for me, because now I've moved from buying like my gym wear from Total Sports and stuff like that, because I feel the quality is a bit better with your Nike, although Nike clothing gave me a massive rash earlier on this year, but like I just had to wash them. I don't know, my skin was sensitive. But yeah, so I've moved from that, and like I buy homeware stuff from TFG the group. I also want to check out Foschini, because I've seen a lot of people saying Foschini has moved from like a mom and granny shop, and it like caters for like young people now. So I'm really keen on that, and yeah, it's something that I feel like I'm gonna keep that account for a while. Okay, so I've said a lot, but yeah, I think the key here was just to show you my credit journey, but also to impress upon you the fact of how important, or the fact that, you know, credit scores are quite important, and not having credit negatively impacts your credit score, right? Which is something that I'll unpack in a later video, and like why I went into MTN, besides, you know, just paparing and wanting a phone because I could afford it. I'll touch on, in my next video, I'll touch on why I needed the account to improve my credit score, how I got burnt by Telkom, and how I bought my first flat at 24 in Cape Town, but I've since sold it now. I sold it last year, but yeah, I'm keen on that, so stick around, check out my other videos. You might like them, you might not, but you'll never know until you check it out. Like, subscribe, all those cute things. Thank you, and Bye.